Hi, I'm the Highway Groupie again with some more tips on using your homebrew soda machines. Today I would like to share with you some of the mistakes that I have made using a soda machine. Mistake number 1, putting too much CO2 in my drink. I was doing this because I wasn't finishing the job properly. So here are some keys to good carbonation. 1. We know that cold water holds CO2 better, so make sure that your liquid is very cold. That I have been doing. When carbonizing, I would add spurts until the relief valve triggered. That is also good. Why? Because CO2 is heavier than air, so most of what comes out of the relief valve is air, not CO2. Why is that important? Air mixed with CO2 reduces greatly the ability of the liquid to hold the CO2. Where I have been failing is when I added several other spurts to increase the fizziness. This is not necessary if the next step is done better. 3. Before, I would gingerly rock the bottles of soda back and forth to put the remaining CO2 into suspension, like we see here. However, this does not mimic the commercial process. They violently inject liquid and CO2 together into the bottles. This turbulent injection helps to dissolve the CO2 into the liquid. Now, I shake the bottles more vigorously for about 30 seconds. After that, I need to let them settle for a few minutes before removing the infuser. That brings me to my next error. I was letting off the pressure using only the first phase of the infuser relief valve. Then I would push down and turn the cap to remove it. True, we need to let the pressure off slowly so that the foam does not enter into the infuser. And no one wants Mount Vesuvius on the kitchen counter. But once the foam is under control and the pressure is reduced, I would bypass the next step. That is, I would not use the final release button here. Pushing that down releases the final bit of pressure, making removing the cap easier and faster. 5. Step 5 is to cap the bottles as quickly as possible. I always did that, but at times in doing so quickly, I would not tighten the top sufficiently. You really have to reef these lids down if you do not want the pressure to leak out. I would like to suggest to the soda machine companies that they supply us with a clamp-type cap that is easier to put on and easier to remove. Incidentally, the more vigorous shaking puts more CO2 into suspension and yields a finer bubble in your drink. So those are a few points that I wanted to share with you today. Hopefully you have found these points helpful. If you have, please leave a like and hit subscribe. You may also want to try some of these recipes, that is this one, or this one. And by subscribing, you will know when new recipes are posted. Talk to you again soon.